Does the recent spate of scandals rather suggest that something is wrong with the recruitment process of our public and civil servants?
Well, I don't think there's something that is wrong per se about the selection, because that question assumes that selection can actually identify a person's character right at the point of entry. And it is true that selection, and I happen to be a selection researcher, selection can identify quite a bit, and you can always improve on selection procedures, including the selection procedures in Singapore.
Example?
For example, besides using just a normal interview, using some reference checks and developing some intelligence tests, you could actually develop various kinds of assessments where you actually look at how a person handled a situation and so on. But I would add that we need to be a bit careful that as you promote people, as people become more powerful, have more discretion, your systems need to ensure that these are the people that you need to even be more sure that they are of the highest integrity.
Yeah, so I think that's why you do need the systems. You can never tell, and that's the reason why all of us are involved in different capacities annually faithfully declare our interests, any potential conflict of interest, and you really need to ensure that your system is robust enough.
Do you think civil servants have lost touch with the ground?
Well, it depends on, I think, which civil servant, which level, which department you are talking about. I think when you are talking about departments or issues whereby perhaps many of the obvious things could have been brought up much earlier. Now, in that sense, it could be losing touch, but it also could be a culture whereby, hey, this is not my business, it's not my job to say it. So I think in those departments, in those situations where most of us feel that the problems could have been detected earlier, it could be a losing touch, but it could also be the culture. But by and large, given our interactions with civil servants, I would say that the large majority of civil servants are competent and good people. Many of them are actually your brothers and sisters and your friends and so on, and you know them.
Yeah, I think the key word is empathy. So I think in the training of civil servants, the ongoing process of training them, they need greater exposure to what's happening to the people on the ground, so they understand the issues, understand what people are going through, and have greater empathy. But they should never end up being politicians. They are civil servants.
Well, I think within the civil service, there is, I wouldn't say that there's a sea change, but there is a clear recognition that officers are encouraged to speak up, and I think they do. So I don't think there is a situation that everybody is conforming or dare not give views. In fact, the internal discussions, in my understanding, is extremely robust. Now, the problem is that because we tend to adopt a very collective front, the moment that it goes out to the public, the decision has been made, and it looks like everybody has agreed, and you think about groupthink and things like that. But actually, before that, internally, there probably has been a lot of disagreement, but the public doesn't see it.
I totally agree. I've been involved in projects
It
and all
does
that,
happen.
and you do have very robust debates. Nobody ever takes decision making lightly.
How can Singapore